do these boots really replace these items? I'm Doc John from Mobility Doc, and we use this Normatec recovery unit all day, every day, over 8,000 times in a year, over 180 times in a week with our patients and our clients. Without a doubt, there's been a lot of improvements in the technology, but is it really going to replace your foam roller or your massage gun? Let's find out. Here at Mobility Doc, we help people to never give up on the things they love to do, and part of that is carrying and using the best recovery equipment possible. Without a doubt, Normatec is the best in the world of compression. We also, though, use foam rollers and massage guns, and if you stay tuned to the end, you're going to see why I think that unfortunately, maybe for you, you're going to have to continue to use your foam roller and your massage gun. We feel strongly that the Normatec compression units are just not going to be replacing everything, but let's first show you why we think you should strongly consider getting one. So let's use these Normatec boots and see what they're all about. I have next to me the compressor, which I have attached now to the little thing here, to the little hook up behind me. I've got some boots. I'm gonna pop my shoes off, and I'm gonna do it like a child. Just toss it over to the side a little bit. All right, so it's really easy. Like, I mean, it can't get much easier than this. Just put your foot in a boot, zipper it up, and the only thing I want to say about the zippering process here is, this might sound crazy, but you have to be careful with how the teeth here line up on the zipper. What we found is that sometimes it doesn't line up properly. And then what you're stuck with is the zipper kind of like explodes a bit. It almost like it opens up, and we haven't broken one in a very long time. They really improved these boots a ton, but in like their quality, they figured out the stitching. It's like maybe one of the biggest questions is like, how long do these last for? And we use them every single day, every single week. We have about 180 patient visits a week, and not all, but almost all will go through the Normatec, and it's pretty incredible that it really just doesn't break that easily. But you have to make sure that the zipper lines up, or else you could break it for sure. And I guess maybe we're just really careful. So all you're gonna do once you have it zipped is you're just going to plug it in. And I could have done this with one of our other doctors on staff, but I thought, you know, you're supposed to be doing this to yourself, so how quick and easy is it? So this part is actually a little bit difficult. Like, when you want to take it off, you really have to squeeze into that button and wiggle, and I suppose it's better to be like that, otherwise it would probably just pop off, right? It would just detach too easily. But once you have it firmly in there, it's stuck, and maybe you could even hear, I'll do it one more time so maybe you can hear the click on. As you can see, I do this all day. It takes effort. All right, so I heard snap to both sides, we're good. I want to get it to the legs. I'm gonna put it on 7. 7's kind of like my favorite with legs. The legs just feel good. The arms, like the pressure could be too much. Hips, the pressure could be too much, so we go about halfway. And then let's just put it on feet. My feet are killing me a little, and I'll just put it arbitrarily on 15. The time doesn't matter, but in so much that you could just hit start again if you wanted. So once I hit start, it's pretty quiet. I mean, the old version of this sounded very loud. And what you'll start to see is I'll scoot back a little bit to get my legs up, but what you're gonna see is this is gonna start to fill up with air. And these boots were fully deflated, so it'll take a little longer. I'll put that down. While that's going, I'll talk about what's happening. So you can see my feet are inflating now. And it has sensors, so it knows where I am, which is pretty nifty. It's not just gonna crush me, or if we put children in this, like smaller children, we have shorter boots for them. But we put small children in these, and it is just as comfortable for them as it is for the adults, for the parents. And now it's filled into the second chamber. It's coming into this third chamber. It's going to do the same for the fourth and for the fifth. And I kind of teased a little the old version. We've been using Normatec for about 7 years, maybe it's 8, I've lost track. But the original form of this compressor right here used to look like this. And this is probably the biggest change in the technology over time. The pressure is the pressure, right? And I would say that it has improved in its pressure and in the construction of the material for the boots and the arms and the hips. But this original thing was absurd. It was like a car battery, or I don't even know what this would be, but this just massive kind of industrial pack with its own little lock case in the front, and then it had to be plugged in. If you notice, this is wireless, right? So it's not plugged into anything right now. That charge lasts a very long time. We don't have to charge it all day. We use it all day. This had a turbo button, which was the original boost, which is kind of crazy, right? So the turbo button, and then the start-stop button, and I could increase intensity. And as you can see, they actually still had 7 different levels, and the hose, which I don't even believe I have anymore, but the hose was massive on that. So now you've got a pretty light hose. It travels well. It's very lightweight. The pressure is really nice. It doesn't feel like a blood pressure cuff, to me at least. What it feels more like is just fully wrapped around pressure, almost like a sensory sort of blanket that is helping you to calm. It has that kind of it's weight to it almost. So super lightweight, holds the charge for a really long time. But I think there's an even better way to use this, and that's going to be using the hyperice app. If you use the hyperice app, you don't have to even touch this. And something that I didn't like about this newer version in particular was that they got rid of the big, nice touchscreen that used to exist. Granted, they were able to bring the cost down a little bit, but there used to be a beautiful touchscreen here, and that touchscreen had everything you needed and all the changes. Most people don't realize if you use the app, not only do you select the type of compression you want, but you can even select how much pressure in each chamber, for how long, and if you actually want it to fill all the chambers. It doesn't allow you to turn off random chambers. You still have to follow an order. So you can just be at the feet or ankles, feet, ankles, mid, and work your way up. You can't do just the top ones and avoid the bottom ones because of the following. This is creating a pressure gradient where we're trying to have the most amount of pressure by my feet and the least amount of pressure up here. Imagine your inflammation is the last little bit of toothpaste at the very bottom of the little toothpaste squeezer guy, the toothpaste tube, right? And so if you want to get that toothpaste out, you have to roll it up from the bottom all the way up. If you keep squeezing it like a barbarian from the middle, you just keep pushing that toothpaste down. The toothpaste is inflammation, and that container of toothpaste is the boot, or your leg in this case, right? What this is doing is it is working that last little bit of inflammation out from the bottom back towards my heart into circulation and blood flow. If it didn't go from the feet up and it was increasing pressure down instead, then you just be pushing that inflammation to your feet. Once it gets through a full cycle here, it will restart. It's gradually dropping off pressure down by my feet. So now my feet are actually fully without pressure. It's letting go and it's continuing to climb here. Once it gets through a full cycle, it'll just fully deflate and then it'll start again. One thing to make note of is 15 minutes is not really 15 minutes. What I mean is it'll say finishing cycle for a little while longer. Sometimes it lines up perfectly, sometimes it just doesn't. It really just all depends. All right, so when you want to stop it, say I want to stop it short, just power off. I like to remember to turn it off just so I don't have to keep charging it all day. And then pop off. You'll hear, maybe you'll hear it, but it's just letting out air. Gonna let this down. Good. And they're pretty sturdy. I will say, it takes a little bit of flexibility sometimes to get to your feet. I don't believe that's just me. It's off. Perfect. So does this replace this? And my answer is no, it does not. It can't. But there are some pros and cons, and there are reasons why you would use both. Convenience is the number one reason why the Normatec wins out of all the other ones. I could be sitting there, as I showed you, I can just talk, my hands are free, there's no effort, I can truly just relax. You could lay in a hotel bed or your own bed, but if you're traveling, a hotel bed or on a competition floor with this Normatec, and you could just go lights out and snooze, and you can allow the recovery to just happen to you. But the thing with the foam roller is that it's helping you to recover in a much different way, albeit it's more active, albeit it could be more comfortable. But what this is doing is it is a form of active release where you are breaking up adhesions that are existing in the different layers of soft tissue. What this is doing, it is using a pressure gradient to increase blood flow and circulation to help stimulate healing, and it's using compression to help to try to decrease the overall tone of muscle. This is breaking up trigger points. This is breaking up knots. This is helping to just decrease overall tone, decrease inflammation, improve circulation. You need both. And I would argue that while this is uncomfortable, it can be pretty easy to travel with this. Put it in your backpack, your carry-on, to like bring it to a field, to roll around on it. If it's raining outside, you're not gonna care if you got a foam roller out there. You're probably gonna care if you have a $700 to $800 plus piece of equipment that's in the rain. That also brings me to cost. Not everyone can purchase a Normatec. Pretty much anyone can purchase a foam roller. You can get them incredibly inexpensive online. And there are various degrees of that. But no matter what version of the Normatec compression you buy, it's only going to be so inexpensive. We've linked all sorts of videos to help you to understand a little bit more about recovery, about how to foam roll, use a massage gun. We hope you found this helpful. What I'm going to ask you to do is subscribe, comment, share. Definitely give us feedback. If you have questions about best use cases or ways to use the Normatec, please feel free to ask. Also, feel free to ask any questions about foam rolling and massage guns, although we'll include those videos there, and you're welcome to comment inside there. Wherever you comment, we will answer. I will answer every single one of the questions, no matter the question. Feel free to challenge me on that one. I'm Doc John from Mobility Doc. Thanks for watching.